Okay. I checked real quick, and it is jumping into the pit like I remembered. That is the point of no return. So after we do this, we're probably gonna ignore the main quest for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we're here. We might as well pray because we have things to do before we jump into that pit. But right now, let's just look around here because it seems really fun and interesting. Ooh, a lot of books. Oh shit, we got to do our reading episodes. It's gonna happen one day, guys. Maybe after we do this, we'll head back to Defiance Bay and start doing that. Final Journal of Jonas. Haven't we read that before? Yeah, I know that one. Interesting that that's here. Nice little library of things, I guess. Luminescent Audra shard. It's a quest item. Shattered and charred stone blocked the passage into the sun and shadow. Alright, so that's oh, I guess this is it here. Let's go ahead and make a hard save here. I don't know why. I hardly ever use these when I do them, but seems important.
Magnificent.
Ooh. That's really cool looking. And to break our immersion. Let's see what this is. A whistling in the reeds. In the Zimital Plains, Zokin Lake is renowned for its beautiful flowers that grow along its banks for several weeks every spring. Local farmers harvest the flowers for a spring festival in all of the nearby villages. In the past 3 years, 4 people have gone missing during the flower collection. No one has seen the abduction take place, but people in the area have reported hearing a high-pitched whistle from within the tall reeds. When the abductees are discovered days later on the shore of the lake, they appear to be happy and smiling, but unaware of the world around them. The blissful victims never recover from this state, most dying within a few weeks. The philosophers at the monastery near Zokin Lake have advised local rulers to seek outside help with the problem. You go. Okay. Alright. So, Abaddon, Magrin, Galawain, Hylia, Bareth, Skane, Audra, Rimgrand. Who are these people? A piercing ring fills your ears as you near Whale's shrine. There is no other response, so he just doesn't like us. I'm guessing one of these is Aothas. Maybe this one. Nothing happens when you approach Wodika's shrine. No? Where's Aothas then? He's just not here. Interesting that you can't worship Aothas. Well, I mean, we know who we're going for, right? We're going for this group. It's interesting that these three are together because we helped Abaddon out too, which is awesome. The only one we haven't helped out is Galawain. But Magrin, Abaddon, yep, over here. Before the shrine sits the constellation of a snarling hound, fangs bared. Wait, no, I wanna. Can I not worship? I wanna worship Magrin. Pray to Hylia. This is gonna be Barath, yeah. Guess I can't. Is there any way I can like spend this or something? I don't know. Who's this gonna be to? Rimgrand? I don't even know who that is, to be honest. Well, they said I had to, if they're not alone, I'd have to pray to like all 3 of them, right? Alright. Galawain is with Magrin, so. You stand once again before the shrine of Galawain and the Hound's Head constellation, which marks the pedestal. From time to time, you hear a low, rumbling sound like a growl. Pray to Galawain. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. All things can be reforged. There is life and death in life. Survival begins with strength from within. Live every note of life's song. Struggle in our fundamental nature. I sing of the ocean's sorrow so that I may forget my own. All life ends in stillness. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. What is an answer without a question? When Wodika takes back her throne, all wrongs shall be righted. Actually don't even know which one Mogren would be. Would this be the one we gotta go? Hold on. We have books, right? We do have a lot of books, I assume. Where are our books at? We actually don't have that many books. I thought we were going to have a lot more books now. Are there not that many books in this game? Are there books in, like, other sections? I guess we have a couple books in here. Weird. I would have thought we'd have, like... Oh. We have a ton of books. What was I looking at? Was I just looking at this part? I must have been just looking at this part. Okay, anyway. Excerpts from the Sermon of Struggle. Book of the Hunt. This sounds like what we need, right? When my students ask to be taught the way of Galawain, I tell them that they have already failed. Does one ask a deer to present itself as dinner? Of course not. One must outwit, outmaneuver, and overpower the deer if one dreams of venison. So it is with the secret god. To ask a question is weakness and idle indecision. To seek answers is to understand and to become one with Galawain. Survival begins with strength from within. But I only strike my students when they ask the second stupid question, for all of us begin young and weak. It is a point fact, and not one of shame, an essential tenet of Galawain's teachings. Perseverance and cleverness are prized by Galawain above brute force, a fact my young pups often forget. It is right and proper that the strong lead the weak, and it is equally proper that the strong be continuously tested until the balance changes. Galawain celebrates the strength of the victor and the prowess of the well-fed predator, but above all, the clever hound celebrates the transformative nature of strength. Galawain's greatest desire for us is that prey becomes predator, mewling babes grow into strong hunters, and the lost find their own enlightenment. This philosophy is best exemplified by the rites of the Anamfatha of Ir-Glanfath. When one of the Glanfathan spiritual leaders is old and nearing death, it is customary to enter the woods and confront Galawain's herald. If the secret god finds that Anamfath's life, deeds, and soul worthy, the reward is a quick death, and his soul joins Galawain's pack. If deemed unworthy, the Anamfath is killed, his soul forced to find his own way to the next life, and his memory erased from the records of the tribe. Survival begins with strength from within, and weak leaders endanger the whole pack. This is Galawain at his purest. Even at the end of life, one must struggle for worthiness, for greatness, just as one must struggle every day to feed his pack. The secret god is easy to understand if one actively engages in the quest for knowledge, but his secrets are self-occluding to those who merely ask, desiring knowledge without the requisite hunt. My own flesh and blood once asked me, will learning to hunt please Galawain? I told him yes, but added, Galawain would prefer that you hunt to learn. Huh, that actually makes Galawain sound kind of cool. Alright, pray to Galawain. And survival begins with strength from within. That's definitely what we need. I was between these two. Struggle is our fundamental nature, but I think it's this one. The air around you stirs, and a gust of warm wind blows across the back of your neck. You catch the faintest smell of wet earth. As you kneel in front of the shrine, you feel yourself pushed forward. You catch yourself on your hands and knees, feeling warm, damp ground beneath them. Looking around, you find yourself crouched in a clearing in the middle of the woods. The smell of dirt hangs heavy in the air. Behind you is a darkened room filled with candlelit shrines. Ahead, you hear the howl of some kind of hound. You feel certain this is a vision, but the hairs on the nape of your neck still rise. Howl back. The beast bays in response, its voice high and clear. The thick undergrowth shivers with movement, and heavy paws pound the wet grass. You're not certain if the creature is hunting or leading you, but you instinctively give chase. As you tumble through dew-speckled bushes and clawing brambles, each stride feels longer than the last. You draw lungfuls of crisp, clear air and feel your energy renewed. The rhythm of your stride and the thumping of the beast's paws drive the blood thrumming into your ears. You speed ahead, following the hound's cries, when a split-finger pine crashes to the ground in front of you. A massive bear lunges into the gap and roars. It catches sight of you. You turn and race in the opposite direction, leaping over the fallen tree trunk. Pine cones crunch underfoot. The bear lumbers after you. Its hot breath washes over the back of your neck, filling your nose with the rank odor of slaughter. You see a clearing just past a thicket of broadleaves and sprint toward it. As you break through the foliage, you see a massive lioness curled up in the clearing in front of you. With a last burst of energy, you divert your momentum and hurl yourself into the bushes. Any second now, you expect to feel the bear fall upon you. But a furious roar on the other side of the clearing draws your attention. The bear stopped at the tree line. It swipes the empty air with claws large enough to rend armor, but it does not advance. Lioness, for her part, twists her body into a tight coil. She growls, her ears pressed against her head, but she makes no move to attack the intruder. Kana gives a breathless laugh. Incredible! Have you ever seen beasts so large? I'd like to carry this appreciation for them into the future. Let's see if we can't slip past now. You back deeper into the foliage, keeping your eyes on the two mighty predators. As you crawl backward, the heel of your hand brushes something firm. A warm sigh grazes your cheek. You freeze in place, slowly turning your head to see what waits behind you. Two amber eyes shine in the darkness. Perhaps we ought to take our chances with the bear. The eyes meet your gaze, briefly, then turn to the standoff in the clearing. The hound behind you yawns, fangs flashing. When you turn back, the lion and the bear have disappeared. In their place is a stone wolf's maw, gaping wide enough to swallow you whole. Beyond it is the outline of a temple, towering but indistinct. Blood must feed the maw, watcher. See that a true champion reigns. Turn back to Ter Evron. Travel to the stone maw in Galawain's vision. Didn't we hear something about a lioness? Like in one of those dialogues? Okay, so we have a task set by Galawain. Can we get, like, other tasks? We wouldn't do any other ones. We want to talk to Magran. That's our primary goal. And Magran is with Galawain, it seems. And if we help Galawain, that will be the third of the three gods in that pantheon that we've helped. I mean, I'm assuming we've helped Magran. We're a priest of Magran, so... I guess we did. We helped her with the lighting of the statue torches. And obviously Abaddon, we gave his memory back, so he should be happy with us. Okay, so we need to find the stone maw. I think that might be up here in the Blood Sands. Are you sure of what you claim? I hoped that the sacrifices would have waned. Okay. Up here? A supplicant. The clear waters taste sweet and refreshing. Okay, let's go into here. It is a stone cave, right? Like, that could be considered a maw. We're looking for lionesses, bears, and stone maws. Maybe a hound, too. I don't know. Man, it's dark in here. Keeper Garost. The Ethic Knoll welcome your presence, supplicants. Hi. A dwarven man stands motionless near the roaring fire that lights the cavern. Your sacrifice feeds the land, supplicants. Come forth. A gust of smoke curls around him, licking the charred flesh that bulges on his forearms. They suddenly flex. Estremor, the dwarf holds his fists in a tight grip. Your kin doesn't come here to share with the tribes. What do you want? What is this place? Blood Sands. The dwarf picks on his scarred forearm. His guttural sigh mingles with the cracking of wood and bones behind him. As I said, Estremoran rarely visit our halls. The Glamfathans call this place Blood and Sand, or Blood Sands. We call it home. The Ethic Knoll have tended the land from within this cave since before the arrival of the tribes to Twin Elms. Garost crosses his arms. Be warned, Estremor. We bleed life to nurture it. Our sacrifices may strike you as savage. But the health of these lands depends on them, and it's unseemly for guests to insult their hosts. didn't dream of it. Tell me about the sacrifices. Garros spreads his stocky legs apart and locks his forearms. Everything must die to return anew, Estremor. Through the sacrificial rites, we offer supplicants the honor of giving their most precious gift back to their brethren, back to the land. The dwarf lifts his fist, thick and mottled by red scars. The blood gives us strength. Even the Glenfathans have come to depend on the blood paint. They brim with power before battle, all thanks to the sacrifices of our kin. Their kin, rather. Tell me about Ethic Null. Our order has thrived for generations. Before we came to Twin Elms, our rites fed the lands of the eastern mountains. Now we share blood for Ir Glanfath. Was that share or shed? Share blood. I can read right. Look at me. Garros opens his palms. Strikes of red skin run through them like flames. To everything that must end, our sacrifices bring a new beginning. He looks up. We sustain what's to come. Goodbye. Remember, Estremor, you're a guest in these halls. Respect our ways, and we'll tolerate your presence among us. All right, I shall do my best. Smoke curls up from the charred skeletons. The smell is nauseating. Yum. Essence taken by force may sustain one, but essence given freely empowers many. All right. Hello, Talon. There is no greater honor than dying for one's tribes. If some fall in battle, how is this different? Okay. That's stealing. We will not steal. That's mean. And let's just keep going left. Looks like this is actually a pretty extensive place. We're looking for... Guys, keep her word, huh? Hello.
Estremor.
The elderly dwarf blinks at you, not quite looking at you. Her eyes are pale and clouded with cataracts. Welcome to Blood Sands. It is rare that an Estremor sets foot in these caverns. Her sightless eyes fix on you as she tilts her head. What brings you here, I wonder? What do you do here? I sell and maintain certain goods for the preservation of our order, and I perform some of our ritual sacrifices. Something more? How do these sacrifices work? Like any worthwhile ritual, it's too complex to explain in detail. It involves clotting the supplicant's essence, binding it to their lifeblood, and drawing it into a container or vessel. Tell me about Blood Sands. This the raw, bloody heart of Ir Glanfath, where some come to give their essence back to their people. Her dry lips bend into a sardonic grin, where others seek a noble escape from their trials. The legacy of the builders to the tribes was not merely Audra and stone, but a sense of community. It is here that Glenfathans come to sacrifice what is most precious, even their own lives, to preserve it. What you got for sale? More potions? Is that all you guys ever have is potions? Don't you guys have any guns? I swear, it's going to be the most disappointing thing about this game if I don't find a goddamn rifle that's really cool. Earth Blights. Yeah, so it feels like I could definitely attack this place, which I don't want to do. I really hope I don't have to. The bravest sons and daughters fall. Damn it. Fall not by the swords of Estremorin, but by the daggers of their brethren. So... how do you guys feel about human sacrifices? I don't know. I don't know how comfortable I'd be walking around in this place. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's stealing. Well, it's just traps, you know what I mean?
Let's see what lies this.
You know, just arm, you know, get a little bit of experience. You know, just take a peek inside. Okay.
Hey.
Nothing we need. Those bloody footprints? What are these? Oh, it's leading us there. So, like, if we couldn't find that, we'd be kind of told that there was something there. Hello. Archdruid, Reston. Oh, hi.
As your blood flows, so shall your essence. Your life's energy shall feed the soil, and your soul's energy shall enrich the community. This is by your own choosing, supplicant?
A dwarven man stands on a raised platform. Beneath him, an elf lies prone on a stone table. As you get closer, you hear the dwarf speak in a gravelly monotone. Yes, the elf's voice is high, but even. The dwarf grips a hatchet with both hands and raises it over his head. He throws his shoulders forward and swings the weapon into the elf's chest, connecting with a meaty thump. Blood gushes around the blade, and the sacrifice's screams rend the air. Aric's shadow. She looks over her shoulder at Kana. I hope you weren't watching. Despite his earlier agreement, the elf thrashes atop the stone table, his torso arching while his arms and leg remain tied in place. Meanwhile, the dwarf spreads his arms wide and allows blood to spatter his robes. When the elf is finally silent and still, the dwarf pulls his hatchet from the body and wipes it on his hem. Kana makes a disgusted noise and turns away. I think I preferred these rites when there were only words upon a page. Why did I look? It's not as if I didn't expect it. Yeah. It's an interesting concept, right? At least they're not sacrificing people who aren't willing, right? I mean, I don't know, it kind of goes into the whole concept of like assisted suicide, right? Like, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough concept. It's a tough concept to get behind, obviously. Streaks of red, brown blood and globs of tissue have worked themselves into the minute grooves of the stone. Hello. The dwarf wears crimson robes that are stained and streaked with dark patches. His face is smooth, but lacking youthful elasticity. It is as if the lines and wrinkles have been formed and erased many times over. He watches you with eyes like two black pits as he wipes his hatchet on his robes. Hail, Estremor.
No one comes to Blood Sands without a purpose. What is yours?
His voice is deep and rough-edged. It echoes like a river in an ancient cave. Who are you?
I am the Archdruid of the Ethic Null. For centuries it has been my duty to guide our rituals and guard our knowledge. It is work that requires a certain resilience, but it is not without its benefits.
His black eyes glitter. Reshton's eerily smooth face is motionless as he watches you. Tell me more about Ethic Null. We are a Druidic order that has been in Twin Elms since Inquithan times. Our founders came from the White March, seeking a place where we might practice our beliefs in peace, as it were. Unlike most of our Glenfathan brethren, we seek answers in the world around us rather than in the teachings of the gods. We believe that all life has power, and that this power can be siphoned and conducted. We are not, as some suggest, madmen and murderers. All of our rituals are conducted with willing participants, and through methods that have been tested and refined over centuries. He nods, his black eye shining. This allows us to create the war paint for which we are respected, if not loved. I want to know more about your sacrifices. A guttural laugh rumbles from his throat. We merely believe that in giving up something of value, the energy that the sacrifice can be delivered elsewhere. The energy from the sacrifice can be delivered elsewhere. It is not so different from what folk practice all over the world. If you want to turn the soil, sail a ship, or move a cart, you must expend energy. He smooths his robes, but we're best known for our practice of kith sacrifice. This is the most potent form of sacrifice because it releases the most energy. We distill the essence of an entire soul into raw power that can strengthen the body, fortify the soul, and extend life. More than a little different from a sailing ship, Kana squirms. An interesting perspective, even so. The Glenfathans are never half-hearted in their superstitions, are they? What's war paint? A special, unguent, binding raw energy to the wearer. It grants incredible advantages in combat and has made us indispensable to the tribe. Whatever they say about our practices, almost all of them have made use of the war paint at some time or another. A slow smile spreads across his face. Fascinating indeed how the most strident objections can be overcome by circumstances. I'd like to buy... Can I buy some war paint? I'm no merchant godlike. Talk to keep a word. She's around here somewhere. I didn't see war paint in her inventory. Maybe I didn't actually look at her inventory. I just saw potion symbols. How are you different from the Ovates of the Golden Grove? A dry laugh rasps from his throat. Golden Grove. I remember when Arona came up with that name. It gives you a darkly gleeful look. It used to be as green as the rest of the forest, you know. We're more similar than they'd like to admit. We both believe in achieving power without the double-edged aid of the gods. But their fantasy is pure creation, something from nothing. They blind themselves to the fact that all life, from the mightiest dragon to the slimiest blade of grass, or slimmest blade of grass, requires death, and the greatest ends require the greatest sacrifices. An interesting thought. I'll have to ponder it further. Some sacrifices are simply too costly. That's just the way the world works. I refuse to believe that. I agree. I just make sure I'm holding the knife. I'll have to ponder it further. A wise enough sentiment. That's all I wanted to know. Farewell. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's their custom. As long as they're willing sacrifices and it's their custom, like, I'm not gonna get involved with that. Like, obviously, if I ever created my own custom, I would not have human sacrifice be part of it, but, you know, to each his own. Fire sacrifice chamber. Essence within to nurture flesh, and essence without to strengthen it. Will you guys just jump in the fire? The heat emanating from this pool threatens to singe the flesh from your face. Alright. I can't talk to any of you, right? Okay. What's down here? So we'll go this way. Wonder if I should be stealthing and sneaking around. Nah, I mean, these guys are good people, it seems like. The gift of sacrifice transmutes blood into water and essence into power. Thicknol, ... Just as the flesh... I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Just as the flesh of one nourishes many, the sacrifice freely made strengthens those that will come to us. Of course. You're, of course, right. Strength. The blood of sacrifice... Damn it. The blood of sacrifice waters the soil of Irglampath for the ones that will come to us. Say everybody else. Must be some sort of prayer they've got going on here. Okay. This does not seem like where there would be a lion and bear, huh? So we'll have to keep looking. They got a little place here. Hello, Naka. The petitioner before you is swaddled in loose-fitting robes. Her hair is greasy and matted. A glossy film of sweat and grime coats her exposed skin. She has the swollen features of pregnancy, and several missing teeth in her big, grinning smile. As you approach, she slowly turns to you and examines you from head to toe, smiling the entire time. Joyous day to you, she says. Despite coming from a wearied body, her voice sounds resonant and relaxed. I am Naka, midwife and lore keeper. Her hands run across the slight bulge in her belly. She rolls her head back and sighs a relaxed purr. Are you feeling well? Flawless, she replies. Apologies, I should be left to my meditation. The rite of strength is invigorating, almost overwhelming to the senses. She reaches down and cradles her belly in her hands and turns away. Alright. Well, good for you, I guess. You have anything else to tell me? No. Okay, well, see you guys. I assume, like, if you... I don't know. It seemed like that was a place where you'd fight things, right? Just by the layout of the place. But, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to fight them eventually. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. We shall find out eventually. Okay. So. I guess we're done in this region, right? I mean, I don't see anywhere where there'd be a fight going on. Unless I missed something in here. I don't think so, though. Okay, well. let's go to the next area, which I think is Elmwood. Is that what it's called? Keep wanting to say Elm Shore, but that's a different place entirely. Oldsong. What is Elmwood? I don't know. Alright, yeah, let's go to Oldsong. Oh, there's a... Oldsong is it's a stone wolf head. That sounds like where we need to go then, huh? Who are you? Protector. Okay. Alright, what do we have here? We have Hylia Shrine, Oldsong Pass, Noon Frost, Galloway's Maw, Hearthsong District, and the Burial Isle. Okay. So, obviously, Hylia's Shrine. Don't know what Noon Frost would be. Would that be the one god I was like, who's that? Potentially. The stone is pitted with the marks of ancient chisels and furred with moss. Well, that's kind of cool that you use moss to like create fur on it. I like that. Hello, Casfath and Onwin. Two wood elves, a man and a woman, wear colorful robes embroidered with a matching emblem, a winged egg. Apart from their clothing, they couldn't be more different. She folds her arms and continually scowls at the broken walls around them. He, on the other hand, mutters prayers, his shade-dappled face as tranquil as a cloudless sky.
Just how are we supposed to worship the Sky Mother from among the weeds, This is a disgrace.
The woman rounds on her companion.
Calm yourself. We should be grateful that she protected us from the winged terror. Besides, even here we have a visitor.
What's this winged terror you speak of?
A dragon. One
Sky
that has
dragon?
taken up residence in the nest, the true Temple of Hylia, and slain many of her faithful.
He went...
And one which Anuin has been in favor of killing from the beginning.
Anuin.
But no, you advised caution. Now word spread that the dragon ate a few of our followers, and anyone willing to slay it wants an Anumphos ransom for the job.
She throws her hands up to the heavens and shakes her head.
I told you a larger party wouldn't stand a chance. By the time the first half reached the top of the mountain, the second half would still be stuck in the pass. They'd be burned alive. Contrary to Anuin's suggestion, I am in favor of sending someone to kill the dragon. But I suggest a smaller party, and one willing to seek Hylia's blessing.
Well, I'm not seeking her blessing, but I could go after this dragon.
You could.
What she means is that this is no mere drake, but a fully grown dragon, and one that has willingly moved into a populated area. You'll want every advantage at your disposal, including the blessing of the Sky Mother herself. I would suggest that you petition her directly at Ter Evron, if you haven't already.
She points to a patch on her right, leading north and up a slope. You'd want to follow this path here. You'll pass through the North Weald, but the way up the mountain continues from there. It's near one of those big circles laid by the builders. Let me ask you something else. Go ahead, then. Language is also sacred to our goddess. Something else you wish to speak of? I have questions about the dragon? Well, we'll tell you as much as we can. He gives... I already forgot how he said her name. Onwin. Aniwin? Something like that. Has this sort of thing happened before? Never. Or our order would have started to resemble the Fangs a long time ago. Perhaps there's a reason this has happened now? She scowls. Let us be clear. You suggest that there's some misdeed in our midst? That we've committed a crime against our goddess or some other and received our just punishment? Unwin, please. He lays a hand on her shoulder. She shakes his hand off. I don't know why these things happen. Why our own mother goddess allowed scores of her followers to perish among flames. She narrows her eyes, speaking between her teeth. And if you ever discover why, I invite you to come back and tell the rest of us. How did the dragon come to be here? With a great beating of wings and a fiery war. Who knows why those beasts come and go? It's here, and that's what matters. If you're asking why this has happened, only the gods know. I suspect it's a test of faith from Hylia herself, but who can say? When did the dragon first show up? He looked skyward, thinking. It was several weeks ago. The creature cloaked the sky like a thundercloud and descended upon us all at once. There was no warning. Can you tell me anything else about the dragon? She opens her mouth, a crooked sneer on her face, but seems to think better of whatever she was about to say. In her pause, she says, nothing. We truly wish we could tell you more, but we, like the rest of Hylia's faithful, were running for our lives, and we were more fortunate than most. That's all I wanted to know. This is the Temple of Hylia?
You hear this, Wag?
She rolls her sky-blue eyes and elbows her companion.
Relax, Anuin.
Anuin.
I'm sure she meant nothing by it. Forgive my consort. She's been rather excitable of late. This is not, as you seem to recognize, our actual temple. It's merely a shrine we've set up after this business with the dragon.
Tell me more about Hylia.
Why, she's the goddess of song, art, the sky, and maternity. She's gentle and brilliant, speaking to her followers in dreams, inspiration, and birdsong. It is said that she wears a cloak adorned with a feather from every bird known to kith or wilder, and that she manifests in the flocks themselves.
She sounds wonderful.
Aye, and in the screams of childbearing, which I can assure you is not so beauteous a thing.
And this is true, which is why midwives are widely considered clergy of Hylia, as are many artists and poets. In any case, those of us who follow her feel closest to her splendor in a place where we might share light, song, and a view of the blessed sky.
So I can do that without getting her blessing? I wonder if I can do this without... Can I do multiple of their quests? The god quest? Protector. So this goes up to Northweald. We could go do that right now, but let's explore the rest of this area first. I think I want to do that dragon. I want to do the dragon. Okay, yep, I'm going insane. Oh God. Help me, please. Free hospitality, I love it.
This chill gets down into the bones. I wonder what's in there.
A chill hovers over the frozen lake, draining the air of warmth. Okay. Well, I guess we'll go in there now. Why not? What did we just see there anyway? Those are like torture racks? Kind of look like it, right? Hello? Hello? Vesgil. The pale elf searches you with icy blue eyes. She shifts and knits her fingers together. Welcome to Noonfrost. Most of the temple is currently closed for sacred ceremonies to Rimmergrand. She forces a smile and waves to the eastern doorway. The shrine is to your right. You're welcome to make your offerings to Rimmergan there. Rimmergan. But the rest of the temple is off limits. Tell me about Rimmergan. He's the god of cold, entropy, and collapse. Many see him as a harsh god, but few recognize that he also gives life in his own way. All things wind to a merciful end in his shadow, only to feed creation elsewhere. She frowns, gnawing her lip. But he is a silent god, and his ways are mysterious. To follow him is to accept inevitability without explanation. Her eyes dart between the two doors on either side of the room. If that's all. Okay, why is most of the temple closed? As I said, we're in the middle of sacred ceremonies. She enunciates carefully, unlike what I did. They are rather complex, and we don't permit outsiders to witness them. She glances at the elves over her shoulder. Others of my clan get rather touchy about them, which is why you should visit the shrine and take your leave. That's a pity. I was hoping to learn more about these practices. The more complicated, the better, I say. What are you doing here? My clan journeyed from the White That Winds to pay homage to Rimmergan, here at Noonfrost. We'd learned that this place had been abandoned for several years, and we felt it our duty to tend to one of our god's oldest temples. She rolls her shoulders back. It has been a long journey, but Rimmergand demands endurance. No doubt he will reward us for ours. Sagani's mouth is set in a grim frown. I hope it is. Goodbye. Okay, so we can visit the shrine, but the rest of the temple is off limits. Which way did he say the shrine was? I think he said to the east, right? Sorry, where am I going? Hey, this way? Doesn't seem like anything's off limits. I can go wherever I want. Here's the shrine. Okay. The water of this well has frozen solid, trapping small fish from the lake underneath the temple. Nice. Well, I guess not nice for the fish, but... refracted light dapples the icy mirror behind this statue. Oh, interesting. Well, we're not gonna be rude and explore the place when they said it's off limits, so let's just leave. I wonder if I can do their quest too. Probably, huh? I wonder if we should go back and talk to Hylia's shrine before we do Hylia's quest. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Maybe it'll give us like a little advantage against the dragon. Not that I'm too worried. I mean, I'm a little worried because dragons are difficult enemies, but we were at a stage in the game where I don't think I should be afraid of anything, really. That goes to the barrier island, which we're not ready to do yet. Hello, Delum. No one to please, no crowd to inspire, no furry maiden's kiss to spark my song's fire.
Builder's wisdom to
Salutations, Estremor. The Orlan chirps in a sing-song voice. I am known as Delum, chanter of Oldsong. I trust you're enjoying the beauty of this sacred place. Are you the resident entertainer? I sing to entertain Oldsong's visitors, but alas, the crowds have thinned into little more than a trickle. The chill wind from Rimmergand's temple is driving people away. Now I sing, but nobody listens. My music is without purpose. But I know of a solution, a way for me to make my songs warm and passionate, countering Rimmergand's incessant chill. The Orlan smiles and reaches out with a grasping motion. All I need are a few rare songbirds. I could eat them and absorb their musical energy. With that kind of musical prowess in my soul, I could sing a song that could bring back the merry crowds. I'll help you acquire the birds. You want to eat the songbirds? I don't think it works that way. I'll help you acquire the birds. Delum's eyes widen with delight. Splendid! He exclaims with clapping hands. For my song to be pitch perfect, I will need a tiam, a bird often found throughout Twin Elms, often in high tree nests, but some have been domesticated. I'll also need a shardwing. Shardwings prefer to nest in Audra formations. Suits their natural camouflage the best. Oh, and most importantly, if I plan on hitting those high notes, I'm going to need a cloud singer. Those little warblers can only be found in the highest mountain peaks. Many thanks, Estremor. Bring me these birds and I'll sing like Hylia herself. Sure, I can do that. We know where one domesticated one is, but I'd rather not get a domesticated one because that's kind of mean to the domesticated bird and its owner. Huh. Nothing like a little bit of coin just lying about for me to take. Okay, so I think we've explored most of this place, except for Galawain's temple up here.
nice. Subtle.
Very, very, very subtle. I think we are going to go back to the I was going to call it a temple, but it's more like just like a god's house sort of thing here in Elm's Reach real quick. And I want to talk to Hylia, and then I think we're going to go after the dragon. We're going to go after the dragon. Go up here. See if I can just please all the gods. That'd be great, right? Is there a downside to pleasing every god? Probably. They'll probably get jealous of each other. Bastards. Alright, so Hylia is right here. Pray to Hylia. This is going to be the song one, right? Not this one. That's Audra. Live every note of life's song. The words seemed to ring in the air, your voice rendered melodic and lilting by some unseen art. You shut your eyes to pray. As you wait in darkness, the world around you changes. You feel sunlight, bright and warm on your face. A light breeze carries music to your ears. As vivid as these sensations feel, you somehow know they are not real. You look around and find yourself standing in an open-air temple built on a mountain summit. It's filled with elves, orlins, and assorted other kith. Ringing the entire scene is a fringe of trees, their verdant branches filled with birds of all different colors, shapes, and sizes. Pelagina takes it all in with squinting eyes and a wry smile. I'm supposed to feel at home here, really? Everyone is singularly absorbed in a particular pursuit. An Orlin sits with a canvas, a paintbrush in his hand, and jars of green, blue, and yellow pigments at his feet. An elf and an Amawa, standing to the side, are locked in conversation, their expressions dancing with delight. Still, others scribble stanzas of poetry or crude sketches on sheafs of paper, losing themselves in the delicate minutiae of lines and syllables. You feel the breeze again, and two elves basking in the sunlight shiver. Look at this place. All these people coming together to share their creations, and Kana frowns. What on earth is that painting supposed to be? The largest group gathers in the middle of the temple. They sing a lush, chaotic harmony composed of several complementary melodies. Others drift toward the singers in ones and twos, as if buffeted by a gust of wind or phrase of the song. A ripple passes through the trees. You think it's the wind, but the chirping changes to screeching. Hundreds of birds take to the skies, all headed in one direction, away. Sagani raises his brow. Something must be coming. The devotees glance at the trees, just barely distracted from their activities, but the wind picks up, scattering their pages of poetry and art and ripping the songs from their lips. They look skyward, and you follow their gaze. A dark shape blots out the sun. You can't tell what it is, but as it unfolds and expands, it seems to fill the sky. The wind roars over the summit. That explains the birds. Before you can flee, a shadow falls over the temple. It begins as a stain in the corner and spreads, blotting out the flagstones. It reaches the nearest kith, a black-furred Orlin. The darkness swallows her, leaving only a puff of smoke in her place. The two elves that you saw earlier, a man and a woman, flee. You get a brief image of them, huddled in the shadow of a mountain. They seem to see you, too, and they reach out, calling silently after you. The others, however, seem frozen. As the shadow advances, they likewise vanish one by one. The driving gale scatters their ashes and the charred remains of their creations. You look up again, and at the source of the shadow, but the eclipsed sun forms a blinding corona around the thing. You can't make out any details. You can, however, feel the heat. Restore my temple. You look down and find yourself standing next to Hylia's shrine in Tir Evron. Your pulse still races, and your skin is damp with sweat from your strange encounter. I like that one. I don't know. Like, obviously we're gonna help Galloway, and I guess we should probably. Doesn't matter which one we do first. I don't know. I was going to say we're gonna go kill the dragon first, but I think we should actually do Galloway's first, because I don't know, just in case. Because honestly, we want to kill the dragon, one, for the fun of killing a dragon. That sounds kind of savage of me, but but also it's a sky dragon, and we have the added incentive of leveling up our sky bow thing. which can only be leveled up to its maximum by resting in a sky dragon's lair, which seems like that's what it is. So, back to Oldsong, though. This is a really cool statue, though, isn't it? Huh? No, wait, I'm not there. Damn it. Okay, I guess I gotta follow my own selves. And Aloth wants to speak. I did not notice that. Aloth, what's up, buddy?
If those Delamgon are right, you and I are stuck with our awakenings. Not quite the news I was hoping for.
Yeah, I guess him hearing that kind of is worrying for him, too. Although it seems like he's been living with his awakening a lot longer than I've been living with mine, and he seems okay. It just means we've got to focus on finding Theos. Shrug. Worrying won't change anything. It distresses me, too. I'm concerned about you. How are you taking this? This isn't fair. We're stuck with memories and personalities from ages ago. At least one of you got some good news, right, Isilmir? I'm concerned about you. How are you taking this? That distresses me, too.
You mean the knowledge that your mind is an unraveling thread and the man holding the other end is a millennia-old priest? Your concern is understandable. And while I hate to turn the subject back to myself, this all has me thinking about Isilmir. I'm stuck with her now.
You've been awakened for decades now. Did you really think anything would change? She's not that bad. I can't imagine having her in my head. It's time you dealt with this, Aloth. You mean how she's stuck with you? Yeah, you've been awakened for decades now. I wish I could say something else. Like, you've been awakened for decades now, and you've not fallen into madness. It seems like Isilmir is okay with the situation. It's time you dealt with this, Aloth.
I know.
He sighs. And on the bright side, I've got plenty of time to figure out how to deal with her. You've got to make that decision, Aloth. What do you think? Your whole life, you've been taking orders. If you can't assert your authority over her, you'll never have it anywhere else. Like it or not, she's part of you, and she could be a source of strength if you learn to work with her. Let's go with 3.
It's strange. I've lived with her most of my life, and I've always seen her as an adversary. It should have occurred to me the day she stood up to my father. But there's something about being too close to a situation to see it clearly. It will be a relief to stop fighting her.
Even as he says it, something struggles within him. The muscles in his face twitch and his skin quivers. His eyes roll back in his skull, exposing slivers of white. Sweat beads and glistens on his forehead. After several seconds, he sighs and looks back at you. That wasn't as difficult as I expected. I think, deep down, I'd always hoped to find a solution elsewhere. When I was a child, I always thought my mother would come home with a mysterious cure, or that my father, without knowing it, could somehow send her away just as he'd call her forth. I can't pretend I didn't spend years of my arcane training hoping that one of my instructors would have the answer somewhere in his grimoire. When I joined the Letting Key, I hoped and believed that, with enough loyal service, I'd gain the ear of someone in the organization who could help me. Even when I met you and realized your unique talents, I hoped that you might be able to reach into my soul the way I'd seen you do with so many others. I've been looking for someone else to solve my problem, and now I realize that I've got to face it on my own. That's how it's supposed to be. You search for answers elsewhere and find them in yourself. Most people need that kind of guidance. You don't. I've been with you the whole way. I still am. You haven't been on your own. I got you through Brackenbury, you remember? I've been with you the whole way. I still am.
That means a great deal to me. Truly.
He smiles.
That reminds me of something else the Delamgon said. About the gods not being real.
He says it quietly, as if afraid someone might overhear him. I don't know what they meant. They didn't tell us to pray to the gods, so they can't be entirely... They did tell us to pray to the gods, so that can't be entirely true. I expect we'll figure out what that means eventually. Don't tell me you're getting your panties in a knot about something new. They did tell us to pray to the gods.
Yes, I suppose so. Still, I can't help but worry at the state we'd be in if that were somehow true. If there were no power guiding us in this life and shepherding us to the next.
So don't think about it. I'm sure we'd find our own way. Let's just hope that's not the case. Then Isomir would be just a happy accident, and you'd have no one to blame for her. Let's hope that's not the case.
Well, truer words were never said.
While we're stopped, let's discuss something else. So, you've made peace with Isomir? What's that like? Relaxing. More so than I expected. Contentious as she is, I imagine that letting her in would merely unleash the torrent. But now that I'm not fighting her, it seems she isn't fighting me. He sighs. And you were right. I found much to learn from her. Aloth looks at you with quiet attentiveness. How may I be of service? That's all. Cool. So he seems like he's dealt with his problems.
Hey.
Which is nice. Okay, let's go in. Let us go in.